Hey, doing some trimming in the greenhouse, like well overdue trimming. A lot of tomato plants have got a lot of suckers on them, and just been busy and it's got out of hand. So I thought maybe I'd show some trimming. Like it's gonna look. Some people are gonna think this is scary how much I'm gonna trim off this tomato plant, but it's gonna produce better once I do. So first things first, I got other stuff planted in with it, which I got to trim some of that. This is all basil back here that's like going to seed, and I don't know if it's going to come back or not, but I'm just trimming it, and if it does come back, I'll let you guys know. But it's just like I planted it with every tomato plant, and it's just crazy now. It's just like too much. It smells really good, but yeah. Well, if you like the smell of basil, I guess. So anyway, that right there alone made this bed look a lot better. And there's more over here. So now we've got beets in here, which I'm not going to cut out. They'll be alright. So, first thing, I'm looking for suckers. So, see that great big sucker growing out of the crotch? Look, that's just no good. I mean, it's a whole nother plant, but it's trying to make a whole nother plant. So it's going to take over, like, the main plant just is not getting the nutrients. And you also get all these trimmings out of your greenhouse. Do not leave them in here once you cut them off. I'm throwing them out the window, which I'll end up picking them up or mowing them later or whatever. So I'm just cutting off suckers right now. There's a big one right back there. See, that's just taking life. It's just trying to make a whole nother plant. Same with this one. Like that looks like you feel like that's a shame to cut off. It's even got a bud on it. Like, look. But this is the main stem. So it's got to go. So now that looks a lot better. Now what I'm thinking about is, so where's my first fruit set? Right there. So see there, look, that's your first fruit set. And I don't know if anybody ever sees this, but see how it's growing a leaf on the end of the fruit set? I usually cut that off. It's going to try to grow some of the heirloom varieties. It's weird. I've never seen it do it before on other ones, but they'll like try to grow a whole nother plant off the fruit set. It doesn't even make sense. Anyway, so now I know where my fruit set is. So I can trim everything below the fruit set pretty much right off. And then seems like there's always something tries to start down here at the bottom, which there is. There we go. Another branch there. So now I'm promoting airflow now by down here around the plant. So I could probably trim that one off if I really wanted to, but it doesn't look too bad. Anyway, I think that's pretty good. And how about we do one more maybe, just to show you how my bucket. This one's really bad. Look, well, look at like that's a giant sucker right there. Like it's huge. So look, there's a tomato plant here in the corner. I didn't plant that. That must be a volunteer. Look, whole plant. And the cameraman takes it. I think she's going to plant it somewhere. Anyway, so I'm going to trim suckers again. That's where I'm going to start. I mean, I have a bunch. Well, yeah. Muzzle. Do all this basil first. Which is just, oh, that's not basil. That's a echinacea plant. That must be a volunteer too. Okay, that's beets. Where's the basil? Okay, I'm going to trim the tomato plant first. Can't find the basil. Alright. So, see, sucker way up here. See, that's not the top growth point. See how it's coming out of the branch? That's the top growth point. So you get rid of that. I should be throwing that outside, but I'm just... So now, a lot of time, people will let their tomato plants fork once. And I do that on some plants. Like, Black cherry, I really like to let them do that because it seems like they really produce after you do it. This is not a black cherry plant. And see, this is just, and it's just going to take up so much room in my greenhouse. It seems like a shame, but it's got to go. And I've got, you know, I've got 10 plants in this greenhouse, so they take up room. So, first fruit set right there. There's actual fruit on it. If you can see that. Nice sized tomato plants. Tomatoes. And there's a fruit set there. So, trim. And get way down here at the base, trim. Now I can see all that basil in the back here. Trim that. Trim. Okay. Now, see, I said trim only below the first fruit set, but you can also trim, you don't have to trim this whole branch, but say it's just kind of, it's laying against the back of the plastic, it's getting moist, just trim it a little bit maybe, and it's fine. Like, I'm trimming half of it. It's not going to hurt the plant. Like this one, like, look at that, like way out there over top of everything. It's not going to hurt it. Same with this one. This one's got something eating it. I don't know what the frig eats tomato plants, but anyway. Well, hornworms, but that's not hornworm damage. Anyway. And yeah, just trying to neaten up the plant. Now look at the, like, overall, between the two plants, look how much more airflow I've made, which is going to help stop with blight and pests and just everything. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you guys. Just the way I do it. Definitely not an expert. But anyway, all right. Thanks.